Hello, everyone. It's me again. Today is Wednesday, January 14th, 2020. And getting started into the new year, there's an issue that I'm particularly passionate about. Now, everybody knows that I come on here with videos and I'm constantly posting information regarding preparedness and being ready for different situations that are survival related. And one of the things I'd like to cover today that I feel is very important, I'm very passionate about, is survival in these streets. Right now, ending 2019 and going into this year, there's not a week that doesn't go by that I'm not seeing where children and women and sometimes men are being abducted off these streets. And the very little that the media is covering it is amazing to me. You mostly hear about it on social media, or someone will send you some information regarding someone being abducted, or you'll see Amber Alerts or different things going out. But as far as the media, mainstream media covering all these abductions, nobody seems to care, and that's a big issue for me. Uh, I feel that people need to be getting prepared for this. I mean, would you rather prepare for Yellowstone National Volcano erupting? I mean, what are the chances of that happening? Or a loved one that you have being abducted, going to a store, going to school, or just coming home from church and someone abducting them and taking them away, putting them into this sex trafficking, enslavement crap, or their body being torn up and broke apart and their organs being sold on the dark web. Uh, I get heated every time I see that someone's been taken. And right now, these people are trying to cash in. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. I believe the latest report I read is correct. It's over $100 billion business. So everybody from people's grandmas down to Uber drivers are trying to cash in on this. And the only way to get a get ahead on this is to get out in front of it. Get yourself prepared and learn the laws in your state that you're in, what you can carry and don't carry. I strongly recommend getting a CCW and carrying a knife as a backup for even your gun, because a knife can give you separation to where you get the room to draw your gun, or in the event you run out of ammo because you're not carrying extra magazines or ammo on you, most people don't, it will be your last line of defense against someone trying to take you and do you physical harm. Now, right now, I say the targets are mostly children and women. Every occasionally you hear about a man being taken, but it's mostly women and children. And I get pretty heated every time I hear about it. These people are very professional. Some of them are. They're using hypodermic needles. Once they hit you with that needle, you got seconds before you won't even be able to defend yourself. Now, the amateurs are just trying to use brute force. They have anywhere from 1 to 4 guys that come up on you. They try to pick you up off the ground and throw you into a trunk of a car, or throw you into the back of a van, and off you go. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. I want to talk about some self-defense. I want to talk a little bit about some of the self-defense items that you can acquire that's commercially available that can help you get out in front of this, and just discuss in general, because I feel that this information is vital for people who don't know any better, that no one has trained them or taught them any better, that they need to get out in front of this so that they're prepared when danger approaches, rather than playing the role of the victim. Because you're only going to get one chance to do this right. There won't be no do-overs. There's going to be no timeouts. You're not going to be able to say, hey, you caught me off guard, but let's do this again at a later date. None of that's going to happen. You mess up, you're gone. And 9 times out of 10, your family will be notified later when they find your body somewhere. So let's get ready to get started on this topic of abductions and self-defense. Right now, historically, self-defense implements that were commercially available on the market were designed for impact related type self-defense. Give you an example. You have like brass knuckles. This is called a slapjack. You also had blackjacks, something that you can take somebody's head off with if you were attacked. They were mostly designed for men, with men in mind, because most of the women were usually accompanied by men. Now today, a lot of women are head of households. They're having to defend their children. They're the last line of defense until the police arrive. They're their own first responders in case the children get hurt or get sick. So impact-related weapons are still very effective. But what I have noticed is I knew some women I worked with in a factory, and a lot of them got what they call carpal tunnel in their wrists and in their arms, and it caused them to lose their grip. I know elderly ladies that are getting arthritis in their hands and they have no grip. So to choose a impact related weapon, as soon as you swing and strike and it's going to leave your hand, that would be a poor choice. So number one thing you must know right off the bat is, what are your physical limitations? Can you run to escape? Are you a very fast runner? Because if you're not, then maybe running's not the goal that you should have in mind as your defense. And you can't count on yelling and screaming, because you hear all the time about ladies being abducted in the parking lots of grocery stores or outside malls or whatever, and they're screaming and hollering for help, and people turn around and look. Some of them might even film it for World Star, but nobody is hardly getting involved to save those women. And that's pathetic, because you hear about a week, 3 days to a week later, you hear about them finding them dead somewhere. But historically, most self-defense weapons were catered behind a man with a strong arm being able to wield them. Now today, because of the market being what it is, there's a big demand for self-defense weapons that are non-lethal. You run into a lot of people for religious reasons, moral reasons, whatever. They say all the time, I really don't want to hurt nobody. And the criminal appreciates you for that. And I'm not trying to get down on them, because they have to live with themselves for whatever damage they do. But I also know a big scare, especially with the women, is after they defend themselves, what is the law going to do to them? You know, and man, that shouldn't even come into play. And that's a shame that it does, because they're afraid that if they hurt the person, that a prosecutor may send them to jail. And right now, you're fighting for your right to live when someone comes and tries to abduct you or take your children from you. So to have that on your mind causes hesitation, and hesitation can get you hurt. So right now, you run in, like I said, you run into people all the time say they don't want to hurt anyone. And I wish some of those people can get past that, because once they targeted you, once they took a look at you, they've either followed you or you're going to be a victim of opportunity. They saw you, they sized you up, and they already said, oh, I can take this person. So when they come at you, they're already under assumption that you're going to play the victim, and they're going to easily overpower you. And unless you're able to induce a lot of pain or show them some of their own blood, and I hate to use that term, they're not going to break off contact. They're going to keep wailing away on you until they beat you down into submission and put you in a trunk or into a van and take you away. So with that being said, again, people don't want to hurt anyone. So there's a lot of self-defense tools out there that are set up for non-lethal defense. Personally, I feel every woman should have her CCW and should at least be carrying a knife. But most women I've met are very squeamish when it comes to using a knife and seeing blood, so that throws that out. So it comes down to different other types of tools. And personally, when you choose your self-defense tool, I recommend you carry two. One backs up the other. If you pepper spray someone in the face and they're still coming in, have something in the other hand that if they're holding their breath, and some people can hold their breath for 90 seconds to 3 minutes, that's a lot of time they can wail away on you or get you into a vehicle. So have something else that backs up that first item. That way, if they see that item and realize you got pepper spray in your keychain, they put a pair of sunglasses on to defend against it, then you can go ahead and get away, be able to have something to back it up, to support it, and get separation between you and the perpetrator and be able to get away. Now, another thing that I recommend too, before you choose your self-defense item, talk with a lawyer or a police officer. The police officers are very approachable. I've never met one that I couldn't approach and talk to. Just ask them, what could you legally carry? Or show them some things that, and ask what's the legalities. They would be more than happy to explain to you the ins and outs of what could happen in the event you use said item. Like, I'll give you an example. This knife here is what they call an out the front. As you can see, it's double action. It's automatic coming out, automatic going back in. It's not illegal to own this knife, but it is illegal in Ohio to carry this on you on the streets of Ohio, especially in Dayton, Ohio. Now, a lot of people call these John Wick knives. You see them used in John Wick's movies. And again, they're quick out, quick in. Very simple for a woman to use. But in the state of Ohio, automatic knives are illegal. And that knife was definitely legal in Dayton. Now, a lot of people are still buying them. They're willing to take that chance. But just so you know, in the state of Ohio, an automatic knife is illegal. And you want to know the legalities of the different states that you live in, what you can carry and what you can't carry. But in Ohio, that would be considered an illegal carry. If you still choose to carry it, then that means you're willing to take the risk of what a prosecutor might do to you. But still, know the legalities of what you can carry before you make your choice. Know the limitations. Can you run? Do you have good strong grip? Do you have a weak grip? Because if you have a weak grip and you strike and it falls out of your hand, that person can now use that weapon against you. And I found that that is the number one concern with women, is that they're going to take it from me and use that weapon against me. So know your strengths, know your weaknesses, then know the ins and outs of everything. Because every self-defense weapon out there, I can tell you right now, none of them are 100%. Some of them, there's always that 2 to 20% that can get past that particular weapon. Even pepper spray, you run into about 20% of the people that are immune to it. So you always want to have that second item on you to back up your primary. That way, it gives you a better chance of being able to get away. So again, knowing that everything out there is not 100%, you definitely want to have 2 self-defense items on you at all times. And like I said, you want to get out in front of this so that when it comes your way, you're prepared. You don't want to play victim in this case, because again, you're not going to get a second chance. Practice does make perfect, but you want to practice properly. You don't want to practice bad habits, because bad habits, even when you're shooting, can cost you. So get some training from someone. They have baton classes, they have classes for pepper spray, they have classes for Kubotans. There's different classes that you can get into and learn the proper way of using something. Now, with that being said, I'd like to show you a few self-defense items that are commercially available. But again, you have to check with the police on the legalities of wherever you can have said items. First item I'd like to show you is pepper spray. You have everything from a little keychain size that would probably run you about $10. This is about a 2-ounce bottle size. And there's large as what I call flamethrower models. These look like little fire extinguishers, and they'll shoot about 26 feet. Now, the little 2-ounce bottles are good for about 15-foot range. 8-ounce bottles will probably go 15 to 18 feet. And the little keychain models will shoot spray out to about 8 to 10 feet. And that comes in handy when you don't personally want to be able to make contact with them. ins and outs of it is you got 20% of the people out there that are immune to it. And then you have to make sure that when you spray, you're not in super gale burst winds that it can blow back into your face. If you do, you're only going to get a misting of it and resist the urge to rub your eyes with your fingers. As soon as you do that, you just rubbed it into the pores and into your eyes, and now it's affecting you like it's affecting the perpetrator. But as long as you hit them with a good blast of it, it should take their breath away. And when a person can't breathe, they can't fight too well. And it may also take their eyesight away. But I strongly recommend a good quality pepper spray. Do not go with the cheap $5 crap. It's not going to stop anyone. Get you a good name brand that's going to have a high pepper content and must definitely have 2 million Scoville heat units rating or higher to be effective. Second item I'd like to show you. These are called pen knives. Turn them, ballpoint pen comes up. These actually write, but in an emergency, you can pull that cap off and you can see you have a serrated blade on there. Now, in order to incapacitate a man, the 3 areas that you have to target to incapacitate him the quickest is going to be his eyes, his throat, and his groin area. And most guys are aware that you're going to try to kick him to the groin, so they expect that on your first move. So don't let that be your first move. Let that be your second or third move after you struck toward their face or their throat to get them to close their eyes temporarily, then give them a good shot. But even though this has a short blade in it, some big guys say, all you're going to do is piss me off. No. Not if they hit to your eyes, your throat, or your groin, or if they know where the arteries are. That blade is long enough that they can bleed you out. Very effective weapon. You can put it on the front of your shirt. Hang it there. It can hang right there on your shirt. You can pull it down and deploy the blade. But this is a nice little item to have. Now, you'll have a lot of people that ask me a question, Aaron, what's the 5 best self-defense weapons you can have? I don't rate 5 best. I'll show you a group, and it's up to you to pick based upon your limitations and your capabilities and your confidence what's going to be best for you. So when someone's trying to tell you what the 5 best is, they might be getting paid to recommend certain things. I don't know, but if a person has a weak grip, you don't want to tell them to get a baton. That would just be ridiculous. So based upon their limitations, that's what they should make their choice of weapons on. But the pen knives are a great item to have. Next item I'd like to show you is what they call Kubotans. These again are keychains. This is what they call ninja style Kubotan. This is a regular Kubotan. They're designed for pressure point strikes, especially again, the eyes, the throat, and the groin area. Got your keys on one end, other end's open for strikes. You can hold it in your hand for jabs. This one, the ninja style keychain, actually fits your hand in said manner. Keys are hanging on one end as you're walking to your car. Striker here, striker here. You can grab a handful of hair or grab a shirt, pull them forward, and just start hammering. If they try to grab your arm, you can reach up, pull their arm down, and go back to hammering or punching. But that would fit right on your keychain. And Kubotans are very effective. There are some police training courses that teach ladies self-defense that would school you on being able to use a self-defense Kubotan. Next time I'd like to show you another type of keychain, and they're very popular right now, and they call them the fighting cats. Be something like this, or you might have a plastic dog face that they call the Brutuses, and these are right around $10. The Brutuses are made of rubber. They're more around, I say, about $6. and you put your fingers through, make a fist, and you just yank real hard and it comes off your key ring. And at that point, you can strike. Now, this is designed to where if I hit straight, I can hit both eyes at the same time. Punch to the throat or punch to the groin area. That's what that's designed for. These are very effective, but again, know your legalities, because there's some jurisdictions that are trying to classify these as being in the same category as brass knuckles, which would make them illegal. Another design of fighting cat are these right here. And then the newest design is this. And this is actually called a mini Brutus. And what they do is as they pull it up, they hit their finger and the blade comes out. Goes onto your hand, and you're punching or you're coming in and you're slashing with that blade. But an effective self-defense tool. And those are right around 12 to 14 bucks on those. They have a spring assisted small blade. The blade itself is probably about an inch, inch and a half long. Now it comes to my next thing, and these are super popular on the market. A lot of ladies and guys will buy them, and they're called stun guns of different, and they come in different variations from pager size. This one right here is by Jolt. It's almost like a brass knuckle stun gun. It has, as you can see, it has a flashlight on it. And if you turn it to where you can see the little red light come on the side underneath there, it has a button on the back, the center button where my thumb is. And as you punch, you actually are hitting them with voltage. In fact, that voltage is supposed to be 60 million volts at the end of each punch. Very simple to use. Is that 100% effective? No. Some people have a little resistance to voltage, but the biggest thing is, right now it's winter time. Some people are wearing big thick coats or thick sweatshirts, and the voltage will not transfer through that thick material. This would be more designed for summertime, where if you're confident, you know how to use it, you know how to strike the throat or the face, which is usually always open, then that would give you an option there. But that would be more summertime. This right here is handy. It's a, again, flashlight, and it comes with different settings. And in an emergency, you pull the light to the rear and you hit the button on it. And as you can see, it has voltage. So as you're going from your work, you're getting off on second shift, you're walking to your car late at night, you can actually see if someone is hiding up underneath your car. And if someone suddenly jumps out on you, you have the ability to be able to put the voltage to them. But again, if it's wintertime and they got on super thick clothing and you're not able to hit a vital area, and the area that you want to hit with stun guns is the groin, the stomach, the kidneys, and the throat area, because you're looking to override organs or vital organs and the impulses coming from their brain. These are not effective on arms and legs. They shock, they give a slight burn, but the bone acts as a ground and kind of shields against the voltage. So, and there's no vital organs there to cause them any incapacitation. So knowing where to strike and catching them more in the summertime than the winter would be the ideal situation for some sort of electronic defense weapon. But still, they're good. I'm not shooting them down, but everything has its ins and outs. And knowing that would help you determine when you leave the house that day what you should have on you based upon the climate you live in and how people are going to be dressing. Another great thing, these are the ASP aftermarket police batons. This is a 26 inch, and then there's also a 21 inch. Now, due to my daughter and her girlfriends carrying small to medium purses, they all recommend the 21 inch because it fits. Now, they do come with holsters that go right on your belt. And your price range is going to be between $24 to $28, depending upon how big they are. And if you get into real quality, then it's going to be even more pricier. But to have a basic stick that in an emergency, you can just pop your wrist and it's going to give you some reach, has a non-slip rubber grip on it. And these do hurt to be hit with. They do offer courses where you can get qualified on carrying batons. But great little item to have to back up the pepper spray. You spray them in the face and they're still coming in. You can pop that out and well hell out of them and give you separation to be able to run. Then there's another item that's out. These were popular in the 60s. You don't hardly see them anymore. And when people do pat downs back then, they patted you down from your wrist coming down because they knew of these weapons. And they're called sleeve daggers. And basically, this is more designed for winter than summertime. I put on a short sleeve shirt today so I can show you how these are deployed basically. But they basically just go on your wrist. And your sleeve comes down to just the end. If someone grabbed you and lifted you up off the ground and you can't reach over top to get to your purse or get to your pants pockets because their arms are so big, you can always reach to your wrists. And these come out with steel darts. This is a triple set. And this particular one is actually set up to be a ninja martial arts weapon. But then the TAC 7 was actually designed back in the day for the CIA, because the earlier models all had CIA marked on them. And it looks like this. Single, triple-sided steel weapon. Very effective for gouging. If someone's got you up in there, you can gouge their arms, their hands, or you can hit behind to strike. And probably no more than $15 for one. And they even went even further because of metal detectors. And they created a third type. It's made out of the same composite material they make Glock hand grips out of. And it's made out of plastic, so metal detectors don't pick it up. But this is strong. You can't bend this. Can't break it. They're almost virtually indestructible. They will go through the shirt. As soon as you take one and start to touch your shirt, you can feel it penetrating. This will go right through. But back in the 60s, we called them sleeve daggers. I don't know what they call them today, but they fit right on your wrist. And during the fall, winter time, when you're wearing long sleeves, these are ideal. Then they even make an even stronger one called a Delta Dart, and these ain't no more than about $4 to $6 for one. And you can get with these guys that make these Kydex holsters at the gun shows. You can put a dog tag chain on it. They can make you a little holster that this will go up into, and you can hang up inside your shirt or outside your shirt. But as you can see, they have a hole on the side where you can put a key ring in and actually carry that on your key ring if you wanted to. Again, super hard. You can't bend this, and it's designed to go through clothing. Will even punch through a jacket. Then the last hidden weapon, and I'm gonna have to move this back so I can show it to you. That's great for self-defense. It's what they call a belt knife. I'm gonna show it to you because I put one on so that you can see it. Let me adjust the camera here a little bit. Okay, you can see that the belt is on. It's a nylon belt, metal thing here. All I do is grab my belt and pull. And as you can see, it has a knife blade that's attached. The belt still stays on. These run about 25 bucks. Real nice to have. And then you can put it back together and everything slides back in. But, you know, these guys are getting real professional on being able to abduct people. And what you got to be is you got to be ahead of them. You want to put the element of surprise on them when they come up thinking they're going to throw you a surprise party. You want a surprise party to be for them. And it's up to you. I mean, I can't tell no one what to do, but I strongly recommend that you start to get your self-defense stuff together. Get yourself in some sort of physical shape to be able to defend yourself. Know your limitations, but train, practice. Practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the more confident you're going to become that you can effectively use whatever item, especially if you go out and you get special training, because there's training classes offered all the time. Even in martial arts, there's self-defense classes, there's Krav Maga classes. I mean, as you can see, I'm going to plug them. I'm wearing a shirt for Hills Impact Martial Arts. It's one of the schools that I attended. I greatly enjoyed going there. And if you're too old to where martial arts isn't good for you, then a self-defense class is vital. And some of the martial arts schools do offer self-defense class. Krav Maga itself is a self-defense style. So, and there's a place here in the city of Dayton, Vandalia Range and Armory, that offers a great Krav Maga class on a certain night. And you don't have to sign a contract. You just come in and pay for each class that you take. If it's physically too hard for you to do certain moves, you don't have to. Work at your own pace. But slowly you'll see yourself start to get better. And as you get better, your confidence is going to go way up. But you have to take the first step. You can't sit back and do nothing and think nothing's going to happen. Because in this day and time, bad things happen to good people. I mean, we're in Libya where they're selling slaves on the street corner. We're in a modern society. There should not be no one being taken and put in enslavement. I have a hard time with that concept, and I feel that you have to take the step. You have to want to be able to protect yourself and your children, whether you're a man or woman. And remember what Susan B. Anthony said. She fought for women's rights a long time ago. She said a woman must not depend upon man for protection, but must be taught to protect herself. That says it all right there. You have to be taught. You have to take action. You have to get the training. Because again, there's going to be no second chance. So I hope that some of the things I showed you gives you some ideas of what's commercially available. Again, check with your current law enforcement. They can tell you what you can legally carry and what you can't. Know the laws. Get yourself in some sort of shape. Be prepared to defend yourself. Because these evil people, if they come your way, there's not going to be a second chance. You got to get it right the first time. And if you come out to your car, and one of the methods they're using is they're putting a $50 bill next to your door or sticking it in your door, or a $100 bill. You see that? Look up immediately, because someone just targeted you and they're moving in on you. If you come out and it's raining, one of the things I'm hearing that they're doing is they're zip tying your windshield wipers together in a rainstorm. And the women are standing there struggling trying to get the zip ties off, and the people are running up on them grabbing them. If you come out and you see anything that doesn't look right, get back into the store. Call the police, call a loved one or someone to come and meet you. Don't try to take on that threat by yourself, because there's probably going to be more than one of them. There's going to be a driver, and there's going to be one or two that's going to try to get their hands on you. If you see it, and don't try to look cool walking back into the store, run. because your life depends upon you making the right decisions. There's no room for error here. So again, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier, what Susan B. Anthony said. A woman must not depend upon the protection of a man, but she must be taught to protect herself. Get that training, get that confidence, and survive these streets. You have a good day.